Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? We're tackling AI today.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we've got a whole stack of articles and research to dig into.
Should be interesting to see what we find.
We've got this Vox piece about AI ethics.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one about Anthropic, right?
Yep, them. Then there are some technical articles about machine learning and deep learning and stuff.
Always good to get into the nuts and bolts.
For sure. And IBM has this explainer on neural networks. Pretty cool.
The brain stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And we even have some material from a course on, get this, product management for AI.
Wow, so like the real world side of building AI product.
Exactly. So lots to unpack today. I think we can handle it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this Vox article, it really dives into Anthropic, and they're this company that started out with this whole safety-first approach to AI.
Yeah, their founders came from OpenAI, the ChatGPT folks, wanted to focus on responsible AI, you know?
Right, the good guys. But then things get kind of complicated.
Yeah, like they lobbied against an AI safety bill in California.
I know, right? What's up with that?
And apparently they were scraping data from websites, including copyrighted stuff, without permission.
Seems like maybe they're not so good after all.
It's tough, right? Huge pressure to grow, to stay competitive.
Do you think they're just stuck between a rock and a hard place, wanting to be ethical, but also needing to, survive in this crazy AI industry?
Yeah, I mean, especially with big names like Google and Amazon investing.
They're definitely looking for a return.
Exactly. Makes you wonder if maybe the way AI is developing right now actually kind of pushes companies to compromise on their ethics.
Yeah, that's a scary thought. Like, to stay in the game, you have to cut some corners.
Yeah. Definitely something to think about. But hey, want to get into some of the tech stuff?
For sure. Let's break from the heavy ethics for a bit.
This LifeWire article does a great job explaining the difference between machine learning and deep learning, which, let's be honest, can be confusing.
Super confusing. I always get them mixed up.
Me too. But they use this example of recognizing a basketball in a picture.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay, so like traditional machine learning, you're basically telling the system exactly what a basketball is. Its shape, color, all that.
Right, like giving it a set of rules to follow. If round and orange, then basketball.
But with deep learning, and this is where it gets wild, you just feed it a bunch of pictures, some with basketballs, some without.
And the system, like this neural network thing, just figures it out on its own.
Right. It learns what a basketball is by seeing examples, not by being told.
And it gets really good at spotting patterns we humans might miss.
Crazy. It's like the machine is thinking for itself.
Sort of, yeah.
Uh,
But here's the thing. If the data it learns from is messed up.
oh, I see where you're going with this. The results are going to be messed up too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Garbage in, garbage out, as they say. And this isn't just some theoretical thing. We're dealing with machine learning and deep learning every day.
Yeah, like those Netflix recommendations that are sometimes spot on.
And sometimes way off.
Yeah, or facial recognition on our phones, all that stuff.
It's all powered by AI. And the more we use it, the more it learns.
So we're shaping its development in a way.
We are, which is why it's so important to understand how it works, both how it learns and all of that ongoing herb.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've got the machine learning and deep learning basics down. What's next?
Let's dive into neural networks. This IBM article goes deep, even compares them to the human brain.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
They have these things called nodes.
Nodes, like what, brain cells?
Yeah, kind of like neurons in our brains.
Yeah.
And they're all connected, and these connections have different weights.
Right, like how strong the connection is.
Exactly. And the network learns by adjusting these weights based on the data it's fed.
So going back to the basketball example, if a node that spots round shapes is strongly connected to a node that recognizes the color orange,
The network's more likely to say, hey, that's a basketball.
ah, got it. It's all about connections and patterns. But wait, didn't that IBM article also talk about how data quality is so important?
Yeah, big time. They stress that if you train a neural network with biased data,
You get a biased AI. Which makes sense, but also kind of scary. Like, what if it was trained on data that mainly showed men in leadership positions?
well, it might start thinking that's the norm, right? And then it could unintentionally discriminate against women.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about the tech itself, it's about the data that feeds the tech.
And who's choosing that data and what biases they might have.
This is getting heavy again. We need to lighten the mood.
I know, right? But this stuff matters. And it's not just theoretical. There are real consequences.
Yeah, true. Okay, so neural networks, they're basically like little brains, but brains that can be easily swayed by bad data. What else should we cover?
We have to talk about this product management for AI material.
Right, let's hear about the people who actually have to build and manage these AI projects. What are their challenges?
Well, balancing ethical considerations with, you know, the need to actually ship a product.
That sounds tough. Like, do you prioritize doing good or do you prioritize just getting it done?
Exactly. And then there's data privacy resource allocation.
Yeah, gotta have the right people, the right tech.
And then I thought this was really interesting, the tension between creating AI that's truly valuable versus just creating AI for the sake of it.
Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should, right?
Right. Like, is this AI actually solving a real problem, or is it just a cool tech demo?
So, product managers and AI, they've got a lot on their plate.
They do. And they're the ones who are really shaping how AI impacts our lives.
True. It's not just the engineers, it's the folks who decide what gets built and why.
And how the gets built.
Hmm.
They're the ones who have to think about all these ethical and societal implications.
Which, from what we've been discussing, seems like a huge irresponsibility.
It is. But also super exciting to be at the forefront of this whole AI revolution.
Definitely. Okay, so I'm getting a much better sense of the whole AI landscape now.
Good. We covered a lot of ground, but there's more to come.
Can't wait to see what other rabbit holes we go down.
Me neither. It's a future filled with opportunities, that's for sure. But yeah, maybe a few things to be cautious about too.
So, like, best case scenario, what's AI got in store for us? Flying cars, robot butlers.
Haha, maybe someday. But even without the sci-fi stuff, the potential is huge EE, especially in healthcare.
Oh yeah, healthcare seems like the perfect place for AI.
Could be revolutionary. Imagine AI helping us live longer, healthier lives, catching diseases early when they're easier to treat.
Like, no more waiting till it's too late.
Exactly. Or personalized treatments, tailored to your specific genes and lifestyle.
Wow, that's incredible. No more one-size-fits-all medicine.
And even surgery. AI could assist surgeons, making procedures more precise, less invasive, faster recovery times.
It's kind of freaky to think of a robot operating on you.
I know, right? But if it means a better outcome, less pain, why not?
I guess so. It's like you got to weigh the benefits against the, I don't know, the creepiness factor.
Yeah. But healthcare is just the tip of the iceberg. AI could change everything. Education, transportation, how we produce food, energy.
Okay, paint me a picture. What's this AI-powered utopia going to look like?
Imagine a world where every student gets a personalized education tailored to their learning style and needs. No more struggling to keep up or being bored because it's too easy.
That would have been amazing when I was in school.
Right. And imagine transportation systems that are so efficient. Traffic jams are a thing of the past. You get where you need to go quickly, safely, no stress.
That sounds heavenly. What about food? Can AI help us solve world hunger?
It could definitely play a role. AI can optimize crop yields, reduce waste, make sure resources are used efficiently, and maybe even help us develop new ways to produce food sustainably so we can feed everyone without destroying the planet.
Okay, I'm sold. Sign me up for this AI-powered future.
Not so fast. Remember, we were talking about the potential downsides earlier.
Right. The whole with great power comes great responsibility thing.
Exactly. We can't just focus on the shiny, happy possibilities. We have to consider the risks, like what if AI gets into the wrong hands? What if it's used for surveillance or to manipulate people?
Yeah, that's scary stuff. And what about those autonomous weapons we hear about, the killer robots?
Those are a serious concern. And the more powerful AI becomes, the more important it is to have safeguards in place, ethical guidelines, regulations.
So we don't end up in some dystopian sci-fi movie.
Haha, exactly. It's a balancing act for sure. How do we harness the incredible potential of AI while also protecting ourselves from its potential dangers?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is, and there are no easy answers. But I think the first step is to have these conversations openly and honestly with people from all different backgrounds.
Not just the tech folks, right?
Exactly. We need ethicists, social scientists, policymakers, everyday people. Everyone has a stake in this.
It's a societal conversation we need to be having.
Yep, about what kind of future we want to create with AI. What are our values? What are our limits?
And how do we make sure AI aligns with those values? Because right now it feels like the technology is developing way faster than our ability to control it.
I agree. And that's where things like regulations come in. We need clear rules of the road for AI, just like we have for other powerful technologies.
So no more Wild West AI.
Ideally not. But figuring out what those regulations should look like, That's a whole other conversation.
Right. It's not going to be easy.
And
Okay, so we've got ethical guidelines, regulations. What else do we need to do to prepare for this AI-powered future?
education. This is huge. YGE. We need to make sure everyone understands how AI works, what it can do, what the risks are.
So we're not all just clueless bystanders.
Right. Because AI is going to impact everyone's lives, whether we like it or not.
So what? Everyone needs to learn to code now.
Not necessarily. But we do need to teach people how to think critically about AI, to understand its potential and its limitations.
So more like AI literacy than AI programming.
Exactly. And that needs to start early, in schools, universities, even in the workplace.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've got guidelines, regulations, educate. Are we missing anything?
I think the most important thing is to remember that AI is a tool. It's not inherently good or evil. It's how we use it that matters.
It's like fire, right? It can keep you warm or it can burn your house down.
Perfect analogy.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, we're at a crucial point where we get to decide how we're going to use this incredibly powerful tool.
So no pressure.
A little pressure maybe,
But
but also a huge opportunity. We have the chance to create a future where AI helps us solve some of the world's biggest problems.
that's exciting, but also a little daunting, to be honest.
It is. But I think it's important to stay optimistic. We've got a lot of smart people working on these issues. And if we all work together.
We can make sure AI is a force for good in the world.
Exactly. And that's what I'm most excited about, the potential for AI to help us create a better future for everyone.
Well said. Okay, so we've talked about the big picture, but what about the impact on individuals? Like, are robots going to take all our jobs?
The million-dollar question. It's complicated, for sure. AI will definitely automate some tasks, which could lead to job losses in some areas.
So the robots are coming for our jobs.
Uh-huh. Maybe some of them. But AI will also create new jobs, new opportunities we can't even imagine yet.
So it's not a simple robots versus humans scenario.
Definitely not. It's more like the nature of work is going to change.
So what, we all need to become AI programmers or data scientists?
Not necessarily. But we do need to focus on developing skills that AI can't replicate. Things like critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, collaboration.
The human stuff, basically.
Exactly. And we need to be adaptable, lifelong learners because the job market is going to keep evolving.
So no more getting a degree and then coasting for 40 years.
Probably not. But hey, that keeps things interesting, right?
I guess so. Okay, so we got to stay adaptable, learn new skills. Anything else we can do to prepare for this AI future?
Well, we need to have a serious conversation about things like universal basic income, retraining programs, ways to support workers who are displaced by automation.
Yeah, we can't just leave those folks behind.
Exactly. The transition to an AI-powered world needs to be fair and equitable. It's not just about the tech, it's about people.
It always comes back to people, doesn't it? Okay, so jobs, education. What about our personal lives? How's AI going to change the way we live, work, and play?
That's a big one. AI is already creeping into our homes, our relationships, even our thoughts.
Okay, now that's creepy. AI reading my mind? No thanks.
Not quite yet, but think about it. Smart homes, personal assistants, social media algorithms, even dating apps, they're all powered by AI.
True. I never thought of it that way. So what? AI is going to be like my super organized, always helpful best friend.
Maybe. It could definitely make our lives easier, more efficient, more personalized. Imagine waking up in a house that adjusts the temperature and lighting to your preferences.
Oh, that would be nice. And then my AI assistant makes me the perfect cup of coffee.
Exactly. And then it helps you plan your day, reminds you of appointments, even gives you personalized news and information based on your interests.
Sounds almost too good to be true, but I also have this nagging feeling like, is this really a good thing? Like, am I giving up too much control to these AI systems?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And it's a question we need to be asking ourselves. How much control are we willing to give up in exchange for convenience, for personalization? Where do we draw the line?
Right. Like, I'm all for AI helping me organize my calendar, but I don't want it choosing my friends or telling me what to think.
That's where things get tricky, for sure. And that's why it's so important to be aware of how AI is being used, to understand the algorithms, the data collection.
So we can make informed choices about which AI we let into our lives and which ones we keep at arm's length.
Exactly. It's about being an informed consumer, but also an informed citizen. Because these AI systems, they're not just shaping our individual lives, they're shaping society as a whole.
True. So we need to be having these conversations not just about the cool tech stuff, but about the ethical implications, the societal impact.
And we need to demand transparency from the companies developing these AI systems.
Hmm.
What data are they collecting? How are they using it?
We can't just blindly trust that they have our best interests at heart.
Exactly. We have to
Yeah.
be vigilant. We have to hold them accountable.
This is a lot to process. I need a break.
I know, right? AI is a heavy topic, but it's also fascinating, and it's important.
Definitely. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of the challenges and potential risks, but before we go full doom and gloom, let's circle back to the positive stuff. What are you personally most excited about when it comes to the future of AI?
What excites me most is the potential for AI to help us understand ourselves better, to hold up a mirror to humanity.
Okay, that sounds deep. Explain.
As we build these AI systems that can learn, reason, make decisions, it forces us to ask some really fundamental questions about what it means to be human.
Like, what I, stands? What is consciousness?
Exactly. And the more we learn about AI, the more we learn about ourselves.
So it's not just about building smarter machines, it's about using AI to make us smarter, more self-aware.
I think so. And that's pretty exciting, isn't it?
It is. Okay, I'm feeling a bit more optimistic now. But I'm also curious, what can regular people like me do to make sure this AI future is a good one? It feels like it's all happening out there with the big tech companies and governments. Like, my actions don't really matter.
I hear you. But the truth is, everyone has a role to play in shaping the future of AI, no matter who you are or what you do.
So what, I can be like an AI superhero?
Uh-huh. Maybe. But even small actions can make a difference.
Okay, give me some examples. What can I do, starting today, to be a responsible AI citizen?
First and foremost, stay informed. Read about AI, listen to podcasts, talk to people who are working in the field.
So basically, keep doing what we're doing right now.
Exactly. And be critical of the information you consume. Not everything you read online is true, especially when it comes to AI.
Good point. So stay informed, be critical. What else?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask. The more we all understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to make good decisions.
So knowledge is power, like they say.
Exactly. And once you have that knowledge, share it. Talk to your friends, your family, your colleagues, even your elected officials.
So it's about having those conversations, raising awareness, making sure AI is on everyone's radar.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of your voice as a consumer. If you're concerned about how a company is using AI, let them know.
So vote with our wallets, support companies that are doing AI the right way.
Exactly. And if you're really passionate about these issues, get involved in advocacy. There are tons of organizations working to promote responsible AI development.
So there's a lot we can do, even if we're not tech experts or politicians. We can all be AI superheroes.
Uh-huh. Exactly. And remember, every action, no matter how small, contributes to creating the kind of future we want.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired, but also still a bit overwhelmed. This AI stuff is complicated.
It is, but it's also incredibly exciting. We're living through a technological revolution, and we have the chance to shape how it unfolds.
That's a powerful thought. So what's the takeaway message for our listeners?
Don't be afraid of AI. Embrace its potential, but also be aware of the risks. Stay informed, ask questions, speak up, and use your voice to make a difference. The future of AI is in our hands.
Well said.
It really is. It's like we're on the verge of something massive, a whole new era.
It is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. So where do we go from here? What's the next chapter in the AI story?
Well, I've had a crystal ball, right? But honestly, even the experts have a hard time predicting exactly what's going to happen. AI is moving so fast, it's almost impossible to keep up.
That's what's kind of scary, I guess. The not knowing. But hey, let's speculate a little.
Yep.
What are some things, good or are bad, that you think we might see happening with AI in the next, say, 10 years?
Okay, 10 years, that's a good time frame. I think we'll definitely see huge advances in healthcare. Like, I'm talking potentially life-changing stuff. AI diagnosing diseases super early, maybe even before symptoms show up.
Whoa, that's wild. Like pre-cancer detection?
Exactly. Or personalized medicine taken to a whole new level. Imagine treatments designed specifically for your DNA, your lifestyle, your environment.
And AI doing more and more in the operating room, like we talked about before.
Oh yeah, robotic surgery becoming way more common. Maybe even AI-powered prosthetics that can actually feel and respond like real limbs.
Okay, seriously, sci-fi stuff now. But cool. What about outside of healthcare? Any predictions for other areas?
Transportation's going to be huge. Self-driving cars obviously becoming more and more common. Maybe even flying taxis, who knows?
Now that would be a game changer, especially for my commute.
Right. And then think about education. AI personalizing learning for every student so everyone can reach their full potential.
Yeah, no more one-size-fits-all classrooms. And what about climate change? Can AI help us solve that mess?
It has to play a role, right?
Yeah.
AI could help us monitor the environment, predict, and maybe even prevent natural disasters and find more efficient ways to produce clean energy.
Okay, I'm liking this future more and more. But I gotta ask, what about the potential downsides? What keeps you up at night when you think about AI?
Honestly, the biggest fear is that we lose control, that AI becomes so powerful, so intelligent, that it starts making decisions without us, or even against us.
The whole Terminator scenario.
Yeah, that's the extreme version. But even without the killer robots, there's the risk of AI being used in ways that are harmful, discriminatory, or just plain unethical.
Like we talked about with those biased algorithms, right? It's not the AI itself that's bad, it's the data it's trained on, the intentions of the people behind it.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to be having these conversations now, before it's too late.
Yeah.
We need to be thinking about the ethical implications of AI, setting boundaries, making sure it's used for good.
So how do we do that? How do we make sure the AI future is one we actually want to live in?
It's a big question, and there's no easy answer. But I think it starts with education. The more people understand about AI, how it works, what the risks are, the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions.
Right. Knowledge is power. But education alone isn't enough, is it?
Definitely not. We also need regulations, ethical guidelines, oversight.
So we're not just leaving it up to the tech companies to self-regulate. Because history has shown that doesn't always work out so well.
Yeah. We need checks and balances, transparency, accountability.
And we need to make sure those regulations keep up with the pace of AI development, which is moving at warp speed.
That's a challenge for sure.
Mhm.
But I'm actually optimistic. There are a lot of smart people working on this, and I think we're starting to see some real progress.
Okay, so education, regulations, what else is on our AI future to-do list?
We need to be thinking about the impact on the workforce. Like, how do we prepare people for the jobs of the future? How do we support those whose jobs are displaced by automation?
Right, because we don't want to create this AI-powered utopia for some while others are left behind.
Exactly. It has to be a just transition with opportunities for everyone.
Okay, so we've got our work cut out for us. But hey, at least we're having the conversation, right?
That's a good start.
Yeah.
And I think the more we talk about these things, the better prepared we'll be for whatever the future holds.
All right, I'm feeling a bit more hopeful now. But gotta ask, what's your vision for the future of AI? What do you hope to see happen?
Honestly, I just hope AI is used to make the world a better place. I hope it helps us solve some of the big problems we're facing, like climate change, poverty, disease.
Those are some ambitious goals.
They are. But I think AI has the potential to be a powerful force for good. It all comes down to the choices we make.
The choices we make today will shape the AI future of tomorrow.
Exactly. So let's choose wisely.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of AI.
We covered a lot, that's for sure.
Ethics, neural networks, the future of work, even robot butlers.
And killer robots.
Aha, right? It's been quite a journey. Big thanks to you for sharing your expertise and insights.
Anytime. Happy to geek out about AI with you.
And to our listeners, thanks for sticking with us through this epic deep dive. We hope you learned something new and maybe even feel a little more empowered to shape the AI future.
Remember, it's not just up to the experts. We all have a role to play.
So stay curious, stay informed, and keep those questions coming. Until next time,